Hello. Let me try that again. There we go. Turn that up a little bit. There we go. We're sorted. Hello. Good evening. Welcome along. Thank you for joining us. It is Thursday, the 16th of May, and as you can tell, I am not with you live this evening. This is a very rare Thursday pre-recorded quiz, although there might be a couple more over the next couple of weeks, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, tonight, as you are watching this at this exact moment, I will be finishing off at an event at Tottenham Court Road, a quiz and signing event for the book, because today the book has been officially now. I know there's been sort of a few false starts where some people have already got the book ahead of Thursday, but yeah, tonight is the official book. It is out, it is there, it is on shelves in bookshops around the country, and yeah, it is. Some of you have already read the book up to now, which, and the messages that I've received, I'm recording this on Tuesday, so some of the messages that I've received already have been absolutely fantastic, so thank you very, very much if you've already read the book and shared your comments about it. Also on that point as well, I've been saying this on socials. If you get the book, do share it with me, mainly on Instagram, because it's easier for me to share on Instagram. Facebook seems to be a bit of a mess. And I seem to have kicked off an exodus from for people from who are leaving Twitter as well, because I've not been on Twitter stroke X for donkeys now, because it was just a very, very toxic place. And then I've seen loads of people just sort of saying we're no longer posting on this social platform. But yeah, so when you get the copy of the book, do share it with me on Instagram if you're on there. And I've been putting loads of people on my Instagram stories. So thank you in advance, and thank you in advance for your comments. But let's get into tonight's quiz. I promise there is nothing like last Thursday's round 3 in here tonight. I make that vow for you now. That has been consigned to history, apart from one that I have already written, but it's fine. It's nowhere near as weird as the kitchen one last week. But welcome along, everyone. It is Thursday, the 16th of May. Well, at least for you it is anyway. 50 questions then. I'm just going to turn my mic down a touch because it is peaking. So you might have to turn me back up again. Apologies for that. But welcome along. It is Thursday, the 16th of May. 50 questions then still, as always, for you. Let's kick it off then with some entertainment and round number 1. Question number 1. What is the surname of the double act known as Vic and Bob? Bob. Just have to deal with something in a second. Question number 2. Name the actress pictured here. Number 3, who teamed up with Dolly Parton on the song Islands in the Stream? So who teamed up with Dolly Parton on the song Islands in the Stream? Sorry, I've got my travel booked. The publishers have booked all my travel. I've just got a notification. They've booked all my travel for this week for me, so I've got all the tickets. So I put them into my phone, and I've just got a notification saying I'm traveling today. And I'm not. I'm traveling tomorrow, so they booked all of my travel for today. Oops. Going to be some awkward conversations in the office when they try to get those refunded. Number 4, which TV show would you find the Lannisters and the Starks? That's what normally happens when I'm hoping this will break the curse. This has to break the curse. Number 5, who played the role of Donna in the first Mamma Mia film in 2008? So who played the role of Donna in the first Mamma Mia film in 2008? I'm going to just I wasn't going to tell. It's a little bit better. I've just realised I was sort of like looking like the villain Two-Face with like one side one colour and one side the other. was in the shadows. Number 6, complete the title of the song by Shaka Khan. I'm every what? So complete the title of the song by Shaka Khan. I'm every what? Should also say, if my microphone picks up any weird noises, Sarah's painting our hallway at the moment. Just outside my door. Number 7, name the actor pictured here. So name the actor pictured here for number 7. Should also have said as well at the beginning, I know the live chat is on. Please, I'm hoping so far you haven't done, please don't put your answers in the comments. Number 8, which American singer's most recent album is called Eternal Sunshine? So which American singer's most recent album is called Eternal Sunshine? Number 9, Eternal Flame, A Walk Like an Egyptian, and Manic Monday were all 80s hits for which group? So Eternal Flame, Walk Like an Egyptian, and Manic Monday were all 80s hits for which group? Ooh. And finally, for entertainment, number 10, who played the role of Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter film series? So who played the role of Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter film series? Round 2 with everybody's favourite round. Okay, not everybody's. Geography for you, starting with a picture, and I just need to, I remembered I needed to do this. It's that one. If I close that down. So this is a World Heritage Site found in which UK country? And I need to change the answer because I realise I've put the name of that and not the name of, yeah. This is a World Heritage Site found in which UK country? I need to visit that. That looks beautiful. Number 2, Grand, Brack and Little are the names of islands of which British overseas territory? So Grand, Brack and Little are the names of islands of which British overseas territory? Number 3, the Faroe Islands are a part of which kingdom? So the Faroe Islands are a part of which kingdom? Number 4, the Amazon River flows through Colombia, Peru, and which other country? So the Amazon River flows through Colombia, Peru, and which other country? Number 5, Trinidad and where is the name of a dual island country in the Caribbean? So Trinidad and where is the name of a dual island country in the Caribbean? Number 6, Chile has a long coastline of which ocean? So Chile has a long coastline of which ocean? Number 7, which country that sits wholly in Europe has the highest population? So which country that sits wholly in Europe has the highest population? Number 8, name the bridges. Or again, what are these bridges called? Not give them a name. Number 9, name the country pictured here. Again, what is the name of this country? Not name the country. You know what I mean. And finally, number 10. True or false? The Liverpool Maritime and Waterfront is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So true or false? The Liverpool Maritime and Waterfront is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Good evening to George at Hodder, who's just now in a mad panic to try and rearrange my travel. Right, which by the time you get to watch this, hopefully it will have all been sorted and I'll be in London right now. If you're not watching this, it means I'm live and I'm not. Anyway, right, round 3. So yes, it's not last letter, first letter from last week. Don't panic. It's guess the decade. Quite simply, the way this is going to work, I'm going to give you 3 clues from a decade, 3 events that happened in that decade, and all you need to do is decide which decade it is. It starts from the 30s and works its way all the way up to the current decade, and no decade is repeated. So that gives you a bit of a clue. You've got 10 decades there to decide which of these questions it fits with. Okay, so 3 historical events from these decades. I know it sounds a bit weird saying historical events and 2020s are in there, but never mind. But we'll start with this one for number 1. 5G networks launch around the globe. A pandemic shuts down the world and new missions to the moon begin. So which decade is that? I wonder. Number 2, the Great Depression consumes the world. Uruguay win the first ever FIFA World Cup. And Superman and Batman were first introduced in comic books. That's the old joke from 2.4 Children? No, 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. If you're ever in any doubt about a question, you just write down Uruguay. For football. Anyway, the Great Depression consumes the world. Uruguay win the first ever FIFA World Cup. Superman and Batman were first introduced in comic books. This is what happens when I'm completely left on my own to pre-record a quiz and I haven't got Discord to distract me. I just end up, my thoughts in my head just roll out. Number 3, social networks across the world are formed. The first iPhone is released, and the Da Vinci Code is the best-selling book. So social networks across the world are formed. The first iPhone is released, and the Da Vinci Code is the best-selling book. Which decade is this? And that's a great thing about this round. If you're not sure, you can sort of get to some decades that you might know and then fill in the blanks with the decades you've got left. Number 4, this decade became known as cultural or swinging. The Vietnam War continues throughout the whole of the decade, and England wins its only World Cup final in football. So this decade became known as cultural or swinging. The Vietnam War continues throughout the whole decade, and England wins its only World Cup final in football. Number 5, the UK gains its first female Prime Minister. Hollywood releases blockbusters including Jaws and Star Wars. Bridge Over Troubled Water is the biggest selling album. So the UK gains its first female Prime Minister. Hollywood releases blockbusters including Jaws and Star Wars. Bridge Over Troubled Water is the biggest selling album. Number 6, a polio vaccine was discovered. The space race began, and Pez candies are released. Pez for ages. I've got such a sweet tooth though, that's the problem. Start on anything sweet like this, I'll end up. Number 7, the Tiananmen Square protests took place. The Nintendo Entertainment System is released, and Michael Jackson's Thriller becomes the best-selling album of all time. At this point, just to clarify. I don't know whether it still is. But at this point, it became the best-selling album of all time. Number 8, the Cold War ends. Titanic was released, becoming the highest grossing movie of all time at that time. And CDs accounted for 92.3% of the entire market share for music sales. And I joked about this at the Waterstones event at Preston on Monday night because there were a couple of young people and there were some interesting questions like things like blockbusters. And so just to clarify for the younger generation, CDs are how we used to listen to music. And then before that, you had records as well. Number 9, the Normandy landings took place. The sound barrier was broken for the first time. Pinocchio, Dumbo, and Bambi were all animated features for Disney. So the Normandy landings took place. The sound barrier was broken for the first time. Pinocchio, Dumbo, and Bambi were all animated features for Disney. And your final question before I take a break. Number 10, middle of the decade sees Netflix rise to prominence. Smartphones start to replace traditional mobile phones, and dabbing is one of the dance trends. Yeah, it's a dab. I'm down with the kids. That's dabbing. Okay, that is your first 30 questions then for this evening. Now, usually at this point, I say if you need a recap on any of those, head on over to jvpqquestions.com. However, tonight, because I'm not there physically to push the button, which is what I actually do, I do have to push a button, because I'm not there to physically do it, the standard protocol on pre-recorded quizzes is there is a QR code which is there. It is on the left-hand side of the screen. So if you scan that QR code, that will take you directly onto the website and the specific part that's set up for tonight. So rounds 1 to 3 are there with the pictures. The pictures are at the very bottom. So if you scroll down, if you want to look at the pictures again, scroll down past round 3 and the pictures are there. They are labeled with which round they're from and which question number they are. So yeah, that is the way to get access the hub this evening. That will be on in the break as well. So when we go into the when I go into the break in just a second, he says, have I put it in there first? Yes, I have. So yes, so that will be on there for your all the way through the break. So you've got plenty of time to scan it if you need to go to the hub. Right, I shall return then in 7 minutes time. And I'm going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs because I haven't got anything to do in those 7 minutes. Might send a couple of emails. But yeah, I shall be back in 7 minutes time with your answers. See you after this. Okay, answers coming up then in just a moment's time to get those final ones down. Let's make sure that's on the right thing. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. Perfect. I haven't really got anything to really talk about, to be honest. I'm sure I'll think of something. But I'll tell you what, let's go straight into your answers then. Here we go. So, how did you do with the first 30 this evening? Starting with entertainment number one. So, what is the surnames of the double act known as Vic and Bob, Reeves and Mortimer? Number two, name the actress. That is Elizabeth Taylor. Number three, who teamed up with Dolly Parton on the song Islands in the Stream? It was Kenny Rogers. Number four, which TV show would you find the Lannisters and the Starks? It is Game of Thrones. Number five, who played the role of Donna in the first Mamma Mia film in 2008? It was Meryl Streep. Number six, complete the title of the song by Shaka Khan, I'm Every Woman. Number seven, name the actor. That is Danny DeVito. Number eight, which American singer's most recent album is called Eternal Sunshine? It's Ariana Grande. Number nine, Eternal Flame, Walk Like an Egyptian, and Manic Monday were all 80s hits for which group? It is the Bangles. And number 10, who played the role of Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter film series? It was Emma Watson. What? There we go. Geography round number. Hang on. I didn't change this. It's going to give you the wrong answer. Well, it's going to give you the name of the castle on screen, and I will tell you what the. But yeah, so this is a World Heritage Site found in which UK country? It is Carnarvon Castle, which is in Wales. Wales. For those of you who've got me on mute, Wales. Wales. I was going to originally ask you what the name of the castle was, and I thought that was a bit trickier, and I forgot to change the fact that I'd put it so which, yeah, Wales. Number two, Grand, Brack, and Little are names of islands of which British overseas territory? It is the Cayman Islands. Number three, the Faroe Islands are part of which kingdom? It is Denmark. Number four, the Amazon River flows through Colombia, Peru, and which other country? It is Brazil. Number five, Trinidad and Tobago is the name of a dual island country in the Caribbean. Number six, Chile has a long coastline of which ocean? It is the Pacific. Number seven, which country that sits wholly in Europe has the highest population? It is Germany. Number eight, name the bridges. They are the Forth Road and Rail bridges. If my knowledge is correct, I think it's the Forth Rail bridge in the foreground and the road bridge in the background. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I have no doubt someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Number nine, name the country. That is South Africa, with Table Mountain there as well. And number 10, true or false, the Liverpool Maritime and Waterfront is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is false. It used to be, but it's had its status removed a couple of years ago because of all the works and stuff that have been done. They have removed its World Heritage Site status. And round three, then, with your guess, the decade. Number one, 5G networks launch around the globe. Pandemic shuts down the world. And new missions to the moon begin. It's the 2020s, the current ones. Number two, the Great Depression consumes the world. Uruguay win the first ever FIFA World Cup. Superman and Batman were first introduced into comic books. It was the 30s to 1930. There you go, top and tailed. Both ends of the range for your decade choices. All done. Number three, social networks across the world are formed. The first iPhone is released, and the Da Vinci Code is the best-selling book. It is the noughties or the 2000s, depending on your choice. Number four, the decade became known as cultural or swinging. The Vietnam War continues throughout the whole decade, and England wins its only World Cup final. It's the 60s. Number five, the UK gains its first female Prime Minister. Hollywood releases blockbusters including Jaws and Star Wars. Bridge Over Troubled Water is the biggest selling album. It was the 70s. Number six, polio vaccine was discovered. The space race began. Pez candies are released. It was in the 50s. Number seven, the Tiananmen Square protests took place. The Nintendo Entertainment System is released, and Michael Jackson's Thriller becomes the best-selling album of all time at the time. It is the 80s. Number eight, the Cold War ends. Titanic was released, becoming the highest-grossing movie of all time, and CDs accounted for 92.3% of the entire market share for music sales. Yeah, it goes. It was the 90s. Number nine, the Normandy landings took place. The sound barrier was broken for the first time. Pinocchio, Dumbo, and Bambi were all animated features for Disney, the 40s. And by process of elimination, it leaves this final one. Middle of the decade sees Netflix rise to prominence. Smartphones start to replace traditional mobile phones, and dabbing is one of the dance trends. It is the 2010s, or the 10s, or 2010s. So there you have it. That's your first 30 questions and answers so far this evening. Tot your scores up. How are you getting on? You have the YouTube live chat. You can put your scores in there and show how you are doing so far with the first 30 this evening. Still to come, as always, connections round and general knowledge for you. Let me just... Bum, ba, da, bum, ba, da, bum, bum, bum. Okay, I think that's probably about enough time. Anyway, right, here we go. Connections round. 9 questions. Question number 10. What links these 9 answers together? And we are starting with this. Number 1. Which dance style can go in front of slide to make the name of a song by DJ Casper? Which dance style can go in front of slide to make the name of a song by DJ Casper? Number 2, which expensive jewellery item is a solid form of the element carbon? So which expensive jewellery item is a solid form of the element carbon? Number 3, what F describes the latest styles of clothing and hairstyles, etc.? So what F describes the latest styles of clothing, hairstyles, etc.? Number 4, what is the name of the flat appendages growing from a bird's skin that forms its plumage? What is the name of the flat appendages growing from a bird's skin that forms its plumage? Number 5. What term is used to describe zero in tennis? So what term is used to describe zero in tennis? It's got to be the best seat in the house, that, hasn't it, for tennis? The umpire. Game, set, and match. And you're right there, aren't you? You sat right in the perfect view to watch all that incredible tennis if you're a big tennis fan. Number 6. What word can go in front of ball, light, and tech? Maybe been struggling slightly with this one. What word can go in front of ball, light, and tech? Number 7. What is the first name of the tiger who thinks Frosties are great? What is the first name of the tiger who thinks Frosties are great? Number 8. What is the capital of Cuba? So what is the capital of Cuba? Number 9. Which song by the Kinks starts with the line, I met her in a club down in Old Soho? So which song by the Kinks starts with the line, I met her in a club down in Old Soho? There's every possibility I might be in Old Soho right now. At this time you're watching it anyway. No, sensible head on. And as always, question 10, what links all of the answers together? So what links all of the answers together? General knowledge then to wrap up this evening's quiz. Starting with this for number 1. What colour was the boat that the owl and the pussycat went to sea? So what colour was the boat that the owl and the pussycat went to sea? I mean, they went out to sea as in out into the water, not going to view it. I have spelled that the right way around. Yeah, they weren't thinking of like a joint purchase and it was a new product. Number 2, which continent is the pineapple? Start again. Which continent is the pineapple indigenous to? So which continent is the pineapple indigenous to? Number 3, acute, obtuse, right, and reflex are all names of what? The reflex, flex. Do, 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 do. Acute, obtuse, right, and reflex are all names of what? It's gonna be it's gonna be the new game show I do. Say a word and you've got to come up with a song and sing it. Number four, Cerberus in Greek mythology was known as the Hound of Hades, but it had how many heads? Cerberus in Greek mythology was known as the Hound of Hades, but it had how many heads? Number five, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered in which year? Was it 1955, 65, 75, or 85? So the wreck of the Titanic was discovered in which year? Was it 55, 65, 75, or 85? Number six, what is the name of the condition that causes the skin on the scalp to flake? So what is the name of the condition that causes the skin on the scalp to flake? Number seven, biathlon is a winter sport that combines cross-country skiing with what? So biathlon is a winter sport that combines cross-country skiing with what? Any second now, there's going to be a knock at my door. I'm hoping Sarah's paying attention. There's a parcel for my mother-in-law's, and I know she's not in. Number eight, the legendary ghost ship that could never make port and was doomed to sail forever was called the Flying what? Was it Scotsman, Dutchman, Frenchman, or Salesman? So the legendary ghost ship that could never make port was doomed to sail forever was called the Flying what? Was it Scotsman, Dutchman, Frenchman, or Salesman? Number nine, red, green, and which other make up which other one? Red, green, and which other colour make up the primary light colours? So red, green, and which other colour make up the primary light colours? And your final question, whoa, your final question for tonight. Number 10, how many legs does an insect have? So how many legs does an insect have? Just going to check this before I put it on screen, because you know when you just sort of like think, did I actually put the right one up in the first one? Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. Right. How would I ever do this? sure it's that one. Open, done. Show on screen. The problem is, if you never watch one of my pre-records, I just do it in one go, so there's no editing or anything like that. Right, I need to work out how to get this on the screen. That's the wrong thing. Right, let me bring myself up on screen. Okay, right, so if you need a recap, bear with me 2 seconds. And yeah, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, well, you can just edit this out. Yeah, no, that takes way longer trying to edit anything out than it does. Right, Control H. It'll take me 30 seconds if I can find it. It might not do. Oh, right. I'll have to. Yeah. So all this twittering that's been going on, I'm going to have to edit this because otherwise you won't have a link for your second break. So at some point while I've been doing all that twittering, there will be a link on screen, and it will also be in the on the break as well. In fact, let me just turn that one off, and I'll edit it on screen, which is a bit frustrating because that's going to add a massive amount to my workload just to put the QR code on screen. But I want to make sure that you've got it. So it will be here, about there. Yeah, it will be there while I'm twittering on. I'm going to go into my break. It will be on screen while I'm talking now because I'll have edited it in, and it will be on the break ones as well. I'll see you in 7 minutes. Yeah, so that's what happens when I pre-record stuff live. But I'm glad I checked that QR code because that would have been really awkward if I'd have put that out, you know, because I say I always just do this in one go because it makes it more simpler and you get everything that I usually mess up. So yeah, so I'm glad I did actually check that. I checked the first one actually just now, so that one's fine. I know the first one's fine, but yeah, the second one. So yeah, it will have appeared on screen both when I was gibbering about the fact it wasn't there and also when during the breaks as well. So yeah, no panic on that end. Right, let's give you the answers then to your final 20 questions and see how you did this evening. So round 4, connections. Here we go. Number 1. What dance style can go in front of slide to make the name of a song by DJ Casper? Cha-cha. Cha-cha slide. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Number 2. Which expensive jewelry item is a solid form of the element carbon? It is diamond. Number 3, which F describes the latest styles of clothing, hairstyles, etc.? It is fashion. Number 4, what is the name of the flat appendages growing from a bird's skin that form its plumage? It is feathers. Number 5, what term is used to describe 0 in tennis? It is love. Number 6, what word can go in front of ball, light, and deck? It is disco. Number 7, what is the first name of the tiger who thinks Frosties are great? Tony? Number 8, what is the capital of Cuba? It is Havana. Number 9, which song by the Kinks starts with the line, I met her in a club down in Old Soho? Lola, la 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 Lola. But what links them all together, moving from that song to this one, what links them all together? It is Copacabana, and there they are on the on the right hand side of your screen. How they all link in, I'll start at the bottom. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl with number 4, yellow feathers in her hair. And do the cha-cha. He wore a diamond. That was Rico. His name was Rico. He wore a diamond. Music and passion are always the fashion. Yellow feathers in hair said. They fell in love. That's the end of the chorus. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Tony always tended bar. And it was the hottest spot north of Havana. Yeah, so Copacabana, well done if you got that right. General knowledge there, number 1, the owl and pussycat. What colour was the boat that the owl and the pussycat went to sea? It was pea green. Number 2, which continent is the pineapple indigenous to? It's South America. Number 3, acute, obtuse, right, and reflex are all names of what? It is angles. Number 4, Cerberus in Greek mythology was known as the Hound of Hades, but it had how many heads? 3. Number 5, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered in which year? It was 1985. Number 6, what is the name of the condition that causes the skin on the scalp to flake? It is dandruff. Number 7, biathlon is a winter sport that combines cross-country skiing with rifle shooting. Number 8, the legendary ghost ship that could never make port and was doomed to sail forever was called the Flying Dutchman. There we go. I don't know why they all disappeared, but there you go. Flying Dutchman. Number 9, red, green, and which other colour make up the primary light colours? It is blue. And your final question tonight, number 10, how many legs does an insect have? There is 6. So, tot your scores up then. How have you got on this evening? 50 points available for you tonight. I've got a tiebreaker question coming up for you. So if you've ended up on the same score, your tiebreaker question then is this. Come through. In 1927, John Logie Baird transmitted a single over a long distance for the first time. What was the distance in miles? So, in 1927, John Logie Baird transmitted a signal over a long distance for the first time. What was the distance in miles? Remember, nearest to this gets the point. And I always joke and say, if you end up on the same score, the same like distance apart, whatever, the other way to seal the deal is to like to decide who wins is to play rock paper scissors. Now, on on Monday at the Preston event, I ended up with two teams who were on the same score. They got 25 out of 25. So I didn't have a tiebreaker prepared. Hadn't thought about that. So I got a person from each team to come up and do rock, paper, scissors. And massive congratulations to Team Emmental and Chris Garen, who, Chris won the tiebreaker with rock, paper, scissors. It was good fun to finish it. So it does work. So if you ever end up on the same score, rock, paper, scissors. But nearest to this one gets the point, and it is 438 miles. That is London to Glasgow. 438 miles. That's how far the John Logie Baird transmitted a signal for. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for your quiz this evening. Thank you very much for playing along as always and for being supporting, etc. Just a heads up, if you are watching this as it goes out on the premiere on Thursday night, I'm about to expect a phone call just after I finish this recording. I have got one final interview. I've been doing them all week, but I've got one final interview that is live tomorrow. I'm on the Lorraine Kelly show. It's not Lorraine, it is Christine Lampard who is hosting tomorrow. So I'm going to be on there. I think it's just after 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this on the premiere as this goes out on Thursday night, there's one more interview to go, and that is tomorrow morning on ITV1 on there. That is it from me, ladies and gents. I will see you all soon. Let me know how you got on. As always for me, take care and stay safe.